Good evening once again, everyone. It's Hell's Unicorn here again, back after yet another long hiatus. Sorry I haven't made a video in a while, but I've been caught up in some personal business that has just now started to ease off a little bit. So here I am, back at it again. So I'm basically on the computer just scanning around, minding my own business, when I caught this video that was put up by Protean View, which he probably got off of some news website. I'm not sure which one. There's several that are buzzing with this. Regarding this Swedish cartoonist who just got headbutted by a nut job. Let's just put it that way. Now, those of you that know me know that, like other sensible Americans, I was a pretty big opponent of the war on terror and the resulting war in Afghanistan, which is apparently now the war to make sure that the poppy trade remains thriving in that region, and also the war in Iraq, which is essentially proving to be the war of let's see how long we can stay in here and pour money down the toilet by blowing up infrastructure and then rebuilding it, giving no bid contracts to corporations that do half-assed jobs. In other words, Halliburton, so to speak. Anyway, I'm ranting already, but long story short, I don't support the current foreign policy of this country. Having said that, this by no means whatsoever should give the impression that I am pro-Islamist or pro-terrorist, which I'm sure a lot of kooky neocon bloggers here on YouTube would say and probably have been saying about me and others who think like me for a while. The truth is that what's going on in Europe, particularly in Sweden, Denmark, the Netherlands, and a lot of these other Western European nations, is they're being taken over, culturally speaking, by Muslims. And the reason for that is because in Europe they have an attitude of tolerance towards all viewpoints, be it viewpoints on religion, culture, what have you. The problem with this way of thinking, of course, is that this invites intolerant people to come in and take over. If you tolerate everything, you also tolerate intolerance, and thus you allow the perpetuation of intolerance. Now, personally, I don't feel it's my duty to really waste my time coming up with satirical images of the Prophet Muhammad. Number one, obviously, it's dangerous, but more particularly, there are more thoughtful and more intellectually astute arguments to be made against the religion, and I've actually provided one in the description that you should check out. It was produced by a long-deceased patriarch of the Eastern Orthodox Church named John of Damascus, who witnessed this religion during its infancy and took note of all of the glaring absurdities that were already prevalent in it. So I definitely invite you all to go over and read that article and to take from it what you will. But to those of you out there who are my subscribers, particularly my European subscribers, I just have a little question for you. How long are you going to tolerate nonsense like this? I mean, come on. Freedom of speech, in and of itself, implies a certain hostility to those who stand against freedom of speech. And if you don't have the intestinal fortitude to deal with stuff like this the way you should be, nipping it in the bud before it gets out of hand like this, then you're not going to keep your freedom of speech very long, or any of your other civil liberties for that matter. I mean, here in America we have sort of the opposite problem. Here we don't have problems with Muslims, we have problems with just about everybody else basically trying to take over here. We've got a sort of chaotic fascism going on in our government. So I'm not preaching to you as if my country is doing any better, just giving some humble advice, so to speak. With prudence to myself and benevolence to all of you, good evening.